Hello ladies and gentlemen, and today I thought I would squish the Marvel comic book universe along with DC because we've got an up and coming movie from Marvel called Thunderbolts with the asterisks, and some people have informed me that's because somebody of the Thunderbolts team actually dies in the film. Like, it's not a big shock, so nobody really cares about that. But then after that, we've got the Fantastic Four, the first steps being released. And I tell you what, my trailer reaction, which I did a few weeks ago, certainly sums up my anticipation of that film, which is I have none, because it's the Fantastic Four. In today's video, I'll be covering the ridiculous comments that have come out from two of the actors in this film, notably Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn, who play Sue and Johnny Storm in the film. Not the visions I had in mind. And by the way, folks, the biggest red flag of that trailer were the superpowers. That's what we came here for, to see people exhibiting their powers, not a cookery lesson from Ben Grimm as the Thing.
Okay.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich.
And say what you like about Michael Chiklis from The Shield and his dollar-door dime suit that he wore for Tim Story's Fantastic Four films, but he had gravitas, he had bravado. He really did embrace the role, and they could have just brought him back to do the ADR for this particular thing. This guy who plays him is absolutely terrible.
How do you guys,
That's none of your business.
Okay, all right, I'm just concerned. I'd hate to wake up one morning and find out she was killed in a rock slide.
Without further ado, folks, if you end up liking this video today, make sure you give it a like, give it a clobbering time in the comments below, and I will catch you catching me after these opening titles.
I am. I'm so uncool that I'm so insecure about it.
When I look at this picture, why on earth would I see Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards? He's no Ewan Griffith from the Tim Story Fantastic Four films. I really like his portrayal of Reed Richards. And again, I just can't say any more about this. It's so ridiculous. Vanessa Kirby, a bit long in the tooth, but you know why they've cast her, right? Because it's not a coincidence, folks. She's a bit of an activist. What a shame, because I do like Miss Kirby to almost the nth degree. But let's just get back to this again, and the main article here from Superhero Hype. So Joseph Quinn and Vanessa Kirby shared how their versions of Johnny and Sue Storm will differ from past portrayals. While speaking to Entertainment Weekly, Quinn shared that his version of Johnny Storm is less callous with other people's feelings, and hopefully there's a self-awareness about what's driving that attention-seeking behavior. He stated that his Human Torch is hilarious. Oh, well, thanks for letting us know, Mr. Quinn. Leads with a lot of bravado, which can be an affront sometimes. The actor described the previous iterations of the character as a womanizing, devil-may-care guy. The whole point about Johnny Storm, he's meant to be that. Even back to the Stan Lee Jack Kirby collaborations in the 60s, he was portrayed as that. Because why? That's what people want to see. That's the whole point. If you bring a character like that into a universe like the MCU, you don't peel away their layers and leave them as a husk. We want to see what makes them that way. That's why the first Iron Man from 2008, seeing Tony Stark as a definitely what was embodying Johnny Storm right here, a daredevil, doesn't really have much of a care in the world, wants to sell weapons, wants to sleep with female reporters. That's the kind of guy you want to get into the psyche of, right? Director Shackman also described Johnny as smart.
You are trouble.
Trouble is my middle name.
Oh, you're hot.
Why, thank you, so are you. And I'm not afraid to cry.
And Vanessa Kirby plays Sue. also conveyed that she wanted her version of the character to be different. Sue is known to be the matriarch of the family. I guess she is. Speaking about Sue, Shackman described her as the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet. So funny how you got the male director speaking for the actress. I find it quite funny, actually. So Kirby states that yeah, when she becomes Malice, it's all about her dark stuff. Everything comes out. I was obsessed with that chapter of her life. Of course you are, Kirby. Forget about what Sue was like in the 60s and the 70s. It's more like this evil personification of Sue Storm. Furthermore, she asserted that she did not want just a tough, invincible, powerful woman, but also a mother who gives birth, because yeah, for some reason, and apparently it's not even a spoiler at this stage, but she's pregnant in the movie. I shit her you not. Ishita Verma, the article writer for this dreadful article. She covers political views. What a surprise. She creates gripping articles, or farticles as I like to call them, honing in on her ability to identify trending topics, which includes diverse beats, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. That's your red flag right there when you see this article. It is absolutely ridiculous. Now, some of the stuff that Vanessa Kirby states here is fine. It's no problem. But when she distances herself from the 60s version of Sue Storm, which can be seen as a doormat, and in fact, do I even get that quote to come up here? Let's have a look. Yeah, there you go. If you played an exact 60s Sue Storm today, everyone would think she was a bit of a doormat, Vanessa Kirby says. Which is not true, actually, because the first family, the Fantastic Four for Marvel Comics, Sue Storm was pretty much in the thick of it with her colleagues straight away. She was nothing of a doormat, not that I can remember anyway, so a bit of a disparaging comment from there. It's not on the levels of Rachel Zegler and how she definitely went against the Snow White animation from 1937. It's not on those levels, but my God, Vanessa Kirby, I mean, before you think about opening your mouth, love, just think about what's going to be shoveled right into it before you start making these really strange remarks. It's bizarre. And look, before I get on to my next story, which I'm actually a lot more excited about, I will say this much: Thunderbolts is coming out, and I'm going to go and watch that at the cinema. I'm actually finding myself returning to the theatre complex to watch movies again, which is great, actually. I'm watching Warfare next week, which I can't wait to see. And speaking of all things morbidly curiosity-wise, Daredevil Born Again, right? I've been watching that. I'm on episode 7 as we currently speak. It's the predictable tripe I expect from the low-level standard of writing these days from the Marvel comic book writers. Of course, the girlfriend of Matt Murdock, who shows up in full costume in the daytime, which is a little bit strange, to fight off the Muse killer, who then gets killed by Matt Murdock's girlfriend with a shotgun, or rather with a handgun. It's very, well, predictable. I mean, the lady's got to get the kill right. It's like, okay, whatever. But my favorite character in the whole show is the corrupt NYPD officer Connor Powell, as played by Hamish Allen Headley. Good actor, got a really very interesting look about his persona. He's a very old school throwback to old school Hollywood, right? But also you eagle-eyed viewers will know that Mr. Headley was also in Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. The Russo brothers have a year or even less to complete Avengers Doomsday. I mean, how ridiculous is that? How many millions of dollars is that going to cost Marvel and the Russos to put together? That 5-hour live stream where we saw an empty row of seats apart from Robert Downey Jr.'s, it was just so ridiculous. Again, it feels like an afterthought, right? I mean, why wasn't this planned before? Because I guess the whole Jonathan Majors debacle, him as Kang from The Neighborhood, didn't really work well with audiences. It's like Marvel didn't have a playbook by the side just in case things go wrong with an actor or an actress. How do you make the sudden change? It's so funny. But now we're going to talk about Millie Alcock, the Australian actress who is portraying Supergirl. And this is exclusive footage from Unboxed PhD. Millie Alcock walking around in the Supergirl suit, and I will come back to that in a minute, folks. But I do want to talk about the lady herself. Now, look, she has a very quirky look about her. She's not hideous. She is cute, more than attractive. She reminds me of Anya Taylor-Joy in some respects. I'll bring up a picture of Miss Joy right here. I mean, she looks friggin' hot in the Queen's Gambit. I mean, the actresses both have something in common that I kind of like. They're attractive, but they're quirky. It's like you wouldn't throw them out of bed in the morning, would you? It's like they've got something about them. Now, the reason why Lobo is in this picture as well, I'm going to definitely come to that in a minute, but she's filming Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow in Leavesden, right in the UK, which is pretty exciting. And going back to the video again from Unbox PhD, we're going to watch some of this actually. It's not drone footage, it's like somebody, I don't know, had a long range cell phone, and we're filming Miss Alcock walking around in the Supergirl suit, walking into a tank, I believe it is. And she's got the short skirt, which is great. I mean, the last time we saw Supergirl with a very short skirt was Melissa Benoist in season 1 of Supergirl. Are we going to get that jaw-dropping moment again? We definitely aren't. So just move on, I guess. But
oh, you look really pretty without your glasses. So, to be a superhero,
she looks good. She looks like she's having fun here. And the great thing about this, it's not set on Earth. It's set on another planet, right? Which is really cool. So again, I've not read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to pick it up to read it. It's written by Tom King, a very divisive comic book writer. Okay, but apparently this is a very good Supergirl story. It's about her without the powers because she's in the red sun and she gets drunk on her birthday. Yeah, picking fights and everything else. But on her tail is Lobo, the space bounty hunter. So that's where Jason Momoa comes into the fray, which is great.
I'm giving you geeks 10 seconds before I frag everything in sight. 1, 10.
So yeah, this footage looks pretty good actually. Again, at some point we're going to get on-set photos officially released by Warner Brothers regarding her look, but there are AI images and artists' impressions of Miss Alcock at the moment. I wasn't initially excited about this movie. Helen Slater will always be my Supergirl, you know, the legend of Billie Jean herself. I like Helen Slater. I'm a pretty big fan of hers. From what I've heard about her as well, if you meet her at a convention, she's super nice. She'll have time for you, which is great. And I think she's very respected as an actress as well. She even popped up in Smallville for a few episodes, didn't she? So, and again, my hopes for this film are kind of raised because Craig Gillespie, Australian movie director who made Lars and the Real Girl, a film I absolutely love, also directed Margot Robbie, I, Tonya, which I still haven't seen, Fright Night the remake, which is pretty good. You know, it wasn't a bad movie. So here's a bit of the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic right here, and I'll post a photograph or a screenshot of Miss Alcock actually reading the novel, the graphic novel. But yeah, it looks good. It looks like it's well drawn. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't know what this reviewer has thought about it, but I think there are spoilers in this anyway. So Jason Momoa playing Arthur Curry, Aquaman, politically correct Aquaman. You can't have a blonde, blue-eyed guy to play him like Justin Hartley did in the Smallville show, right? No, you can't recast him like that. You got to get him as Arthur Curry, right? It's very strange. It's funny because Jason Momoa is going through the same course as Chris Evans did when he played Johnny Storm, right, in Tim Story's Fantastic Four films. He later migrated from that to the MCU as Captain America, Steve Rogers. And they're doing the same thing with Momoa now, where he's like an afterthought. Yeah, like cast him as the heavy metal douchebag fragging space rider they call Lobo, with his badass space pup, right? So yeah, good, whatever. But this could be him here. See that could be him. That's with Supergirl. So I don't know. So obviously he's going after her. For what reason? I'm not really entirely sure. But It could be him in costume. Again, I'm assuming that's going to be CGI'd afterwards because obviously it just looks a bit hokey there at the moment. But again, kind of reminds me of Tank Girl. I'm not saying that because they're having a fight on top of a tank. It's just really cool how that's all going to turn out. Apparently this unboxed PhD dude even has first looks at the Avengers Doomsday set, which is hilarious. And James Gunn apparently is on the set or was on the set of this movie. If you're wondering why the Supergirl's been mentioned here, Woman of Tomorrow, because she makes her debut in the Superman movie with David Corenswet, right? So kind of makes sense that they're talking about this now. And honestly, I know some of you won't really care about this, folks. You might think, oh my god, superhero stuff, I'm getting superhero fatigue. But I'm absolutely rooting for Warner Brothers and DC to really give Marvel a kick in the nuts. Remember, the whole thing about Marvel superheroes and DC's is that Marvel's heroes are humans who want to be gods, whereas DC's are gods who want to become humans, right? Which is a weird concept because I'd rather be a god and do what I like. And it's to me, that's like having so much unlimited power at your disposal. Like, why wouldn't you run riot? Okay, I think that's an absolutely great concept, but I guess, you know, if you want to have a conscience, then why not? So what did you think, folks, about this? I mean, the Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn stuff is very cringe, isn't it? And again, me going to watch Thunderbolts on a big supersized screen, it could be a silly film. It might have some redeeming qualities about it. Again, Florence Pugh in that very ultra sexy white dress that she gets out of a limo for in that publicity stunt for CinemaCon where David Harbour is the driver. Man, she looked hot as F in that outfit. She was, ugh. God damn, dude. Pugh is all right, man. She's a good-looking woman. She looks better in that setup than she does in the actual movie. But I guess, you know, and she's the leader of the pack, which I don't believe she will be. I think it's going to be a joint effort between all of the Thunderbolts. But I think the character of Ghost, is played by Hannah John Kamen, actually bites the dust. Her or Taskmistress, played by Olga Kurylenko, whatever. Don't really care about that. Why Taskmaster isn't a dude? Whatever. But, you know, the fact that Kevin Feige's doubling down on the female messaging of Marvel is just so fucking stupid. So there you have it, folks. So listen, if you enjoyed today's video, let me know your thoughts below. What are you more excited for? Leave a comment below. I'll like it. I may even respond to it when I get a chance. And I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
The name's Lobo. That's L as in lacerate, O as in obliterate, B as in disembowel, and O as in, I guess I can use obliterate twice, huh? What do you think?